What message would you have for these people?
This town is not for them.
Bigotry's not one.
No, it's not going to work.
Hey! Cue the music! Hey, shout out to all of our new subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. You remember that video I made about the white supremacy, the white Christian nationalists who were trying to set up their own town in Tennessee?
Tonight, News Channel 5 investigates special report reveals the Christian nationalists who want to turn a small Middle Tennessee community into their base of operations, hoping to attract others from around the country. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. They are a group who says they want to go back to an America before the civil rights movement. Their desire is to deport legal immigrants even if they became U.S. citizens decades ago.
And they want to put women back to where they think they belong.
Well, it turns out the locals weren't having it. They were not having it. Oh, the leopards eating faces. The leopards eating faces out here. Now, I just put up a video all about how the leopards were eating faces for the holiday.
Me. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. No, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Well, I turned my back on my own kind, but I somehow thought that I'd be fine. No, I never thought the leopards would eat my face.
Tell me again how you and the Arby's in your pants are representatives of the GOP. But that might have been too soon, because this got to be the biggest meal they have had this year.
Not in our town. That's the reaction from some Jackson County residents regarding efforts by out-of-state Christian nationalists to potentially remake their community. Good evening to you. I'm Carrie Sharp.
And I'm Rory Johnston. Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, first broke this story last week about the efforts to, quote, build a town in the county seat of Gainesboro. And that shocked the people who already live there.
After giving residents time to digest this news, Phil went back to town about 90 minutes northeast of Nashville, this time to listen to the people of Jackson County.
How are you? I'm good. How are you? As word has spread across Jackson County, a gathering of friends quickly turned into an impromptu town hall.
Hey there. Hi. Now let's just look at the town hall. Let's just look around. Just look around the town hall. This wasn't us, okay? This was not us, okay? It wasn't. This wasn't Ja Morant and Desmond Bain coming in and objecting. That's not, This wasn't us. These are leopards.
Some just came with questions.
Do you want to sit there and let me hear for or two?
Others with deep concerns.
We don't want one news story to portray something of Jackson County that we're not.
Now she said we don't want one news story to portray something of Jackson County that we're not. So what she is asserting is the story and the rhetoric therein it's not something that they claim. Good start. Go on.
Their concerns.
We're building a town, right? We're building a community there.
The white Christian nationalists, led by podcasters Andrew Isker and C Engel, now setting their sights on Jackson County and the county seat of Gainesboro, hoping to turn this quaint community of just over 12,000 people into a political haven for others like themselves.
Now, here's something that I find fascinating. So, I said set up a town, but really it's more of a takeover of an existing town, which I find fascinating. You don't want to set up your own world. You want to take over a place that you feel like would be fertile for your kinds of thoughts. I'm wondering why is it that you don't just go somewhere? There's lots of empty land that they used in the B-roll for the first video. Lots of empty land. I don't see why you don't just go set up your own situation. We've seen that in Montana and Idaho and some of the other states where they have wildly white supremacist towns, left and right, to the point where didn't they have the situation with the women's NCAA tournament where they were dropping ends because they tried to bring them some entertainment from civilization and they couldn't deal with it?
Allegations have surfaced that the Utah women's basketball team faced racial abuse while staying in Coeur d'Alene for the tournament, forcing them to move hotels.
You know, we had several instances of some kind of racial hate crimes towards our program, and incredibly upsetting for all of us.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they can set up their own towns, but you feel like you want to take over an existing town. So why is it just okay if you take over a place where somebody else already is? There's a lot of people with that ideology to just take over other people's stuff. Most of them are in prison. But I guess if you get enough people involved, then all of a sudden it becomes a mission, right? You get enough people involved in your scheme, then your takeover just becomes a mission. See, that was the problem with our jury heist. We didn't have enough people. We didn't have enough people. It was only 5 of us, and they called us criminals. But if we would have came by the hundreds, now it's a mission.
Did anyone have any sense about these people prior to this story?
Among those we met, some had deep roots.
My family's been here for 7 generations.
Others were drawn here by the openness of the people they now call neighbors.
This town is such a loving group of people. I am accepted, even though I came from outside.
And we were there to listen.
What has this story done to this community's sense of well-being?
I think mainly people are scared.
Diane Murphy is vice chair of the local Republican Party.
I listen to the podcasts. I did the research on what you mentioned. It scares me that they are very clear about taking over.
She kind of had me going when she was talking about that it scares her, and I thought she was going to lean into that they want to take us back and subjugate other people, but she went a different place with that. Yeah.
Developers with right-wing ties have purchased hundreds of acres of land in the area, trying to recruit other like-minded people to join Isker and Engel in relocating to Gainesboro. In a video posted online by one of the developers, Isker talks about the ability of those people to get their way in a small community.
Right, you can exercise far more political power, even with a few hundred or a few thousand people, than you can on your own, widely dispersed across the entire country.
When you hear them talking about coming here to build a town, to build a community, what's your reaction?
I'd love to speak to that. That makes me mad.
Diana Manley owns a local restaurant, and she sees a community that's remaking itself without the help of strangers from out of state who don't understand what Jackson County already has.
People from all different walks of life, genealogies, nationalities, race, you name it. We have got a melting pot right here in this small town, all working together to make this town come back to life.
Thank you! Thank you! Finally! You know what? She should have just been staring at that other lady. Like, really? That's your explanation, lady? That's your explanation? And you gonna speak first? You gonna speak first? And that's how nonsense your explanation is. Here's what you should have said.
What is it you're afraid of losing?
I don't want to lose what we already have. The sense of community.
It is a very welcoming community, but I think they kind of came in under the radar and want to recreate it in their own image.
And that image is the opposite of welcoming. I can tell you that right now. And I also will say, I do appreciate a man speaking up in opposition to this. It shouldn't just be the women. Lord knows it's not going to be the blacks.
Forgive the background noise. I'm actually here at a watch party with the Jackson County GOP.
On election night, the podcasters monitored the results from Gainesboro, with the real estate developer behind the project, Josh Abatoy, doing a live report from a local watch party that he had hosted. One of their podcast buddies also set up an account on X, formerly Twitter, that claimed to represent the views of the local Republican Party.
Let's run that one more time.
One of their podcast buddies also set up an account on X, formerly Twitter, that claimed to represent the views of the local Republican Party.
Yeah, he set up an account, called it the Jackson GOP in Tennessee, and claimed to represent the views of the local Republican Party, whereas it is just a knucklehead who set up the account and bought himself a blue check. That is the world of X. It is so decrepit over there. I'm so happy to be on Blue Sky.
It said it was the official account of the Jackson County GOP.
But it was not.
Party Chair Bo Smith learned about the account from News Channel 5 Investigates. We also showed him where Engel had tweeted that the best way forward for Christian nationalists is to take over local level outlets of the Republican Party.
And we've seen that before. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Arizona.
You believe the election was stolen?
I do.
Shelby Bush started a political action committee which investigates what she calls widespread fraud in Maricopa County. Fraud no credible investigation has found.
Arizona.
And the Arizona Republican Party awarded her the leadership of its delegation at last summer's national convention.
So that's not going to happen, especially now due to your reporting. We're thankful for that. And, knowing these people are in our community is a big deal.
Have these Christian nationalist podcasters, these developers, tried to have a meeting like this to sit down and answer your questions?
They're wolf in sheep's clothing.
That is fascinating. They went on podcasts and went on X talking about taking over the town, and at no point even sat down and tried to get the buy-in from anybody actually in town. The level of arrogance that it takes to do that. Really, the level of arrogance that it takes to do. I'm surprised that they didn't at least try. We've seen them show up and lie and go and do something else. That's why the federal government looks like it does. But wow.
But what really concerned these Jackson County residents, some who were reluctant for their faces to be on camera, are the podcasters' views that the civil rights movement was a mistake, that foreigners who've become U.S. citizens still don't belong in America.
What is it you would like for these people coming in from out of state to know? What message would you have for these people?
This town is not for them.
Bigotry's not one.
No, it's not going to work.
Cue the music!
Never thought the leopard would eat my face, no.
I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that we are at a place in 2024 where I have to cue the music because people asserted that we're not racist. But we gonna dance! Cue the music!
Oh, I never thought the leopards would eat my face.
We are not that community, and we don't want to be a part of a racial hate community.
Now that I think was really welcoming to see from a group that we were not involved. Like it wasn't like we were there and they were just saying what they thought we wanted to hear. Touche. And touche the response as well.
We are not that community, and we don't want to be a part of a racial hate community.
Wait a minute. Speaking of responses, why that first lady ain't clap? Yeah, the first lady, the head of the Republican, the GOP local G, she didn't clap. She the same one in the beginning that said her biggest issue was the takeover, not the subjugation of blacks and women. We know she listening to the podcast.
God made men to rule, period.
Then there are their views on women and how they detest the specific impact of college-educated white women on the culture of the world they see around them.
Now, I gotta stop us here again because I made the observation coming out of the election when there were voting trends associated with white men without a college degree, and I talked about how that would bother me if I was in that demographic, thinking, why is it that the people without a college degree see things a certain way? Just ruminate on the fact that it is women with a college degree, women that have sought fit to educate themselves and have a better ability to participate in our economy are the ones that so bother you. Why is the demonization of women with a college degree not a wildly disqualifying and shameful red flag to all women? Maybe not all women, because you have some of those, you have some of the trad wives that will advocate for that as well. But that's a very small percentage of the population. It's a much smaller percentage of the women that voted for Donald Trump. So I'm trying to figure out of you guys, right, the Megyn Kellys of the world, how does the demonization of women specifically with a college degree land with you? Because I can tell you for me, if they told me their problem was not black people in general, which is what they've said, but if it was black people with a college degree, I'm like, oh, so you don't have a problem with us existing to help push your agenda. You have a problem when we think for ourselves and have the critical skills in order to identify the nonsense coming out of your mouth. Like you have self-admitted how nonsensical you are and everything emanating from your movement by virtue of the fact that you don't want me to have an education. That's a problem. That's just how I would see it. And by the way, while we're making analogies, that is not unlike previous views on us. It's not that we couldn't exist, we just couldn't get an education.
The white women on Facebook that you're referring to, they are probably the scariest thing that these guys are going to have to deal with now.
I love that line. You're like, the white women are definitely going to be the scariest thing they got to deal with because ain't no black people.
What I saw and heard on this day is that if the Christian nationalists think Gainesboro and Jackson County is a place where people all think like them, they don't know Jackson County.
These people's views do not represent our community. And if they think they're going to come in here and take over and force their views on everybody else, they're going to have a fight on their hands.
Could we run that back? Can we run that back?
These people's views do not represent our community. And if they think they're going to come in here and take over and force their views on everybody else, they're going to have a fight on their hands.
I never thought I would say this, but I agree with Ms. Coons. Yeah, I agree with Ms. Coons. She really landed the plane on that one. One of them that's going to get through the census. Shout out to Johnson County, Tennessee. You said what needed to be said. I need to see a whole lot more of this. And I would also say that, granted, the views of Johnson County, Tennessee don't necessarily reflect the views of every small town and municipality in America. But if this is the reaction to a white town in red rural America to the Christian nationalist mask off moment, then what will it be on a larger scale? Moreover, why are we having these conversations in December and not in November and October and August? Because these were conversations that we were having the whole time. So I will be very curious to see exactly how, as this infiltrates its way across America and into our federal government, exactly how this lands with small town America. If it's going to land like Johnson County, that would really harden my views on where we are as a society, yet still raises the question, y'all didn't see this earlier? Hey, I hope you guys had a wonderful start to your holiday. Shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel, especially those who submitted possibilities and ideas for merch. You will see the results on my website, reesewaters.com. We got a ton of stuff. There's mugs there. There's t-shirts there, especially my depleted but never defeated t-shirt, which you guys really seem to enjoy. So keep sending in your ideas for possibilities at reesewaters.com. I also want to mention, I was messing around on my phone and I happened to see that YouTube actually tells me who the most active members are on the channel. It's too many of you guys to name, but I wanted to give you guys a special nod, and I'll tip my cap whenever I possibly can. I've been talking to a lot of different people, and I think next year we'll probably have some new projects on the way, some special lives and some special projects specifically for the members. So be on the lookout for that. I can't wait to get started. And by the way, the link to membership is in the description box to all of my videos. So just go to a recent video and you will find the link to membership right there.